If you in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, pull up.
Outfit, you know what I'm saying, everything, the pants. You know, this is our biggest hater collab that we did with Onward. You know what I'm saying? Who's my biggest haters? You, and you too.
What up, world? We back for another episode of Infinite Vibes. Clap it up for ourselves. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. I am Moran, the man. Rich ass B-Lex in the building. What's happening?
What's up, brother?
Oh, man, I'm chilling. I'm vibing. How you feeling?
Man, you know, just cooling.
Yeah.
You know, we blessed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to get fly like this person next to us right here.
Absolutely. The guy next to us right here. This is the guy that let the entire world know
What?
that this ain't for no fuck niggas.
Okay.
Like this.
This is not
It ain't for no fuck niggas at all. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to our listeners, kid?
Hey, what's going on? It's Trinidad James. What's going on, everybody? What's up with y'all?
Oh, man.
up?
We blessed and highly favored on a scale from 1 to 10. How is Trinidad doing? How's he feeling? How you?
Oh, I mean, it's a lot of blessings going on in my life, a lot of obstacles, so I feel pretty perfect.
That's good.
You know what? They said you can't expect blessings without burden.
Mm-hmm.
People
Yeah,
want
sure.
the blessings, but they don't want the burden.
That's a
so
fact.
I'm conditioning myself to understand when I get these blessings, it's always gonna be something attached to it.
Real deal,
You know?
Holyfield. Real
Yeah.
deal, Holyfield. I mean, right now, you have been experiencing a lot of success with this new record. You've been popping out everywhere, going crazy. But I don't think people really understand a lot of the work that you've been doing behind the scenes.
Okay,
You know, working
yes.
with artists, the fashion. I think it's safe to say that Trinidad James has pretty much rebranded himself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly just doing what the universe is allowing me to do. You know, your steps are already ordered. You just got to walk in alignment with it. So I've just kind of been taking everything I'm doing is everything I'm supposed to be doing, honestly. If you know where I come from, then you understand where I'm at.
Incredible.
You know, styling people and helping people and being of service
Right.
is something I've always been.
That's very true.
So
Is that your gift? Would you consider that your gift being of service?
I mean, it really should be all of our gifts. You
Right.
should always keep yourself in a place of service so you'll be able to receive and also be of value. You keep yourself in a place of value, you're able to always mean something.
True that.
I
And-
did see. Oh, go
No,
ahead.
you go ahead.
I saw that you posted on Instagram that you are spinning the block. You shaking hands. You are getting in faces. We're like in Atlanta first,
Yeah.
right? Because we know you global. We know you can go state to
Yeah,
state.
yeah.
But why now? Like where did that stem from?
I mean, it just made sense. I opened a store here. We've been open for 2 months now on top of the underground.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
It's also ironically the store you used to work at.
Same store I used to work
wow.
at.
Ironically.
So shout out to the Onward, our first brick and mortar, right on top of the underground, like you said, in the same location that I used to work in. That's a blessing in itself. And, being in the city, I've been so many other places that it kind of made me hungry and miss the city. And just what actually comes with the city. When you're from Atlanta, you can get burnt out on it because you're from it.
Yeah.
But, when you actually take time to travel and see the world and have other experiences all over the place, home, if home is a part of you, will always kind of creep up on you and be like, hey, man, what we doing?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of what you're
It's like
seeing.
going back to your roots.
Yeah, it's like before I could go and be my best self for LA, my best self for New York, my best self for Texas, Miami, Detroit, Chicago. I feel like I want to be my best self for Atlanta. That's home.
Totally.
That's real.
Absolutely. You had such a very unique / unorthodox entrance to the music business.
Right.
Your first project ever in life that you ever made
Right.
took off. Like,
Correct.
that don't happen for everybody, but it
Right.
happened for
That's
you.
a rare
Amen.
occasion.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Amen.
Very rare.
Amen.
And I think it's safe to say that a lot of people really had you fucked up.
Right.
A lot of people didn't really understand what it was that you were trying to do.
Correct.
How did that affect you mentally? Because it's that happened in what
12.
2012 is now 2025. You here
13 years?
Yeah, that's over a decade
For sure.
You know what
This is year 13. And at the end of the day, it just showed me that you can be doubted whether you're right or wrong. And you have to be able to destroy all the doubt.
Yeah.
Because it's really just emotion. Emotion is momentary. It's very similar to a storm. There's no storm that has ever come into America has never left America. No storm lasts as long as you do. But if you dwell on it, you'll never get over Katrina if you only think about Katrina.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Type situation. So it's that same kind of analogy of the opinions that people have of me or had of me or still have of me is based off of what you don't know and what you saw. Some things that might not come across as positive or as perfect as I wanted to, I mean, a part of it is based off of what I did. So, you know, you got to be able to have some type of accountability with yourself as a man or as a woman first, to be able to get to year 13 in your career and not really be holding in that many grudges.
Right.
You know, a grudge and a chip is two different things to me. You know, a grudge is you not being able to see accountability. A chip is something that you can give yourself because you need something to put that fuel in your back to get to that finish line or get past the finish line that you haven't crossed yet.
Yeah.
Right. When you think about like the fact that we just talked about 2012, we were still popping in CDs, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember the last CD I
was in
bought.
college.
Yeah, Take Care was the last CD I bought. So
Yeah. Right.
for me, knowing you started in that, and then now 13 years later, we in the
Right.
streaming area. It's a clip going around with Lady London, the talented Lady London, saying, you know, there's no money in streaming. Like, what's your take, and how have you been able to navigate streaming, even though you popped out in the CD era, but then now it's like streaming.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you always had your own brand, so
Yeah.
how have you been able to navigate it?
I mean, you can't put your life on music. Let's start there.
Speak on that.
Yeah.
You know, you have to make yourself a brand. Trinidad James is a name and it's a brand. I still, you know, the artist doesn't make the man made the artist. I try to always remember that and don't forget that when it comes to, you know, attacking what I got going on. You know, when it felt like, oh, my own music, it feel like, oh, streaming is bullshitting me, or whatever, then I went and helped other people.
Yeah.
So then that's when I started my 567 agency, which is our creative agency, and we work with, like, you know, tons of girls in the industry. You know, the 5 stands for change, the 6 stands for love, the 7 stands for completion. You know, the idea behind our company is everybody has a step 1 and they want to go to 10, but most creatives, most entrepreneurs, they don't want to go through the process of success, which is the 567.
Right.
And because my career has been, you know, one of those, like you speak on, that's, you know, unorthodox, to use your wording, it made me fall in love with the process because the hard times didn't kill me. The only way you could fail is never getting a chance to do better. And that only comes when you die. So if you're still alive, you didn't fail.
Trinidad with the bar.
Okay.
It's just the truth.
Bishop Trinidad. I'm here for it.
Hey, amen.
Absolutely.
No, that's real.
One thing about, you know, from when you started to now, there have been a lot of things that have changed in the city. Like
Yes, sir.
there's so many things have changed. It's like a lot of people grew up. We've lost some people. Certain people who I would say people thought would blow up didn't necessarily, you know, see it the way that you did.
Right.
What are some things about the city that you feel like are missing?
Fun, you know, the fun in the city. There's a new era of fun that's developed, and you know, it's not that I have a problem with it. I'm a Libra, so balance means a lot to me, and there's not a balance of the fun that Atlanta's foundational structure is based off of existing in the midst of the new modern fun that has happened within the last 6 years, and I just believe in, you know, the fun of based off of the traditional fun, and you know, that's what needs to come back around. And I pray that, you know, I could be a leader again, and you know, not telling people what to do, but reminding people who we are.
Yeah.
When you say it's not like we're bringing the fun back, what does that look like? Is it like no sections, or is it looking like just a party with people just being themselves and great music? What does it look like for you?
Well, I mean, all those things that you named, that's fun in traditional speakings. You know, it's like, I'm not going to tell people like, oh, you take the sections off of there. No, you know, keep your sections. It's just about, you know, what type of music and, you know, the idea, the context, the subject matter of the songs that are popping off along with the other songs that are like flexing, balling, being gangster, flexing, balling, being gangster. That's cool.
Right.
Because that's a part of the black experience. It's a part of his experience, but that's not the only part of the experience.
Yeah.
I come from the Atlanta where we was dancing on cars and groups and snap music and crunk music, which crunk music was about like catching a friendly fade, even if somebody got jumped. But not, damn, we finna shoot your whole block down.
You live to live another day.
Yeah, you will live to get past this. You might have got your ass kicked, but we ain't kill you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You earned it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I come from that type of fun being implemented and being a part of culture here in this city. And, I just hope that we could, gracefully get back to it. Rich Kids, Charlie Boy Gang, Whoop Rico, Beef It Up, Kilo Ali, Raheem the Dream. Like, it's just tons of, classics, man. Tons of people that made a difference. Yeah, man.
To this day.
Never get old. 404 Day, they turn it
come
up.
on and play it. Like, 404 Day was right outside of my store.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I saw what the city can be about.
Yeah.
I know what the trenches really miss. But, it's somebody, we got to have leaders that step up and, it's not just on the artists too. It's on radio. It's on everybody. Just remember, like, hey, let's make radio fun again. You know what I'm saying? And like the traditional Atlanta fun where we were setting the tone, we have never been followers. The city of Atlanta has never been followers. That's why Trinidad James is not a follower, because I wasn't born here. I was born in Trinidad, first of all. So that's that.
That's real.
But, why I could be so unique and be so accepted, because this place of Atlanta here in the South is unique.
Definitely.
And don't beat to other people's drums. We are the trap.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is the home of Andre 3000. Damn it.
Come on, man.
Come on, dog. Y'all
What
know
we
that.
talking about?
Yeah. Oh man, mentally, spiritually, where is Trinidad James today? I mean,
I'm pretty aligned, man. I'm pretty aligned. My chakras are in a good place. Everything that I'm doing is with the intention that I want it to be on. And, the things that don't work, they don't kill me. I just don't dwell on them. I don't see obstacles. I see past it. They can be there, but I just can't subscribe to the obstacles. Yeah. I got to move forward because I know that my vision, my purpose, the things that I want is more important than the things that is not working.
Right.
that's a fact.
What you have on right now, is this homework?
Oh, for sure, definitely.
And
Got to wear your own brand.
Can you discuss, like, the stages of getting homework to the brick and mortar? Because we only see the physical finish, but we know that opening a storefront is not easy, and we know it takes a lot of work. Can you just describe the process in that and how it came about?
We were doing the brand. We started the brand in the pandemic. The beautiful thing about it is I got into music not to be famous. I got into music to have my own boutique, the same boutique that I have now. When I was in that boutique, writing all go everything inside of that store, I wrote part of the song in that store. My vision was to own my own store. But God had a different vision for me as far as giving me real success and making me actually, who I am and people know as a household name.
Right. Yes.
And, that took me away from my first dream, original dream. And sometimes that happens when you ask in the universe or you want something, the universe challenges you to see how much you want it and gives you a different challenge to complete. And I'm happy that I, stood the test of time to be able to see it through as far as, becoming the Trinidad that I am now and not like trying to force it too fast to do the brick and mortar, 12 years ago when the idea was permeating, because now I'm so much more ready to have not just the store that I have now, but more stores, and then also, roll out a badass record at the same time and not feel like one gonna sink if I can't focus on it, because it's just better foundational structure. That's the main thing that most people don't teach you in being an artist. Is about having your foundational structure for your business in place so that you can pivot to the next thing. A lot of times, because we have the idea and the mindset to do 5 to 10 multiple things, we try to do it, but there's no foundational structure for any of it, and then it all implodes or crumbles.
That's real.
That's a bar.
Big bar.
So I say that to say, when the pandemic came around, that was the first time I was able to like mandatory sit down because I had no choice.
Right.
The music business, I had been going hard for those 8 years straight, just, every second of my life, sleep, wake up, music. And then the pandemic came and we couldn't do shows anymore, and that's how I make my money. I don't depend on streaming like per se. You know, I understand where Lady London is coming from, because if you're depending on streaming,
You were screwed.
shit,
Yeah, you are.
You better be doing OnlyFans along with it. 'Cause that's the only way that the numbers will get to a number where it's like, well, hey, you're making $1 million every 2 months. You're making whatever, you know what I'm saying, $30,000, $40,000 checks and things of such. But, you know, I was able to just realize that, oh, let me get back to my dream, my original dream. And so we started the brand Homework then, and it started with Saucony, if you're from Atlanta.
Yep.
You know, giving me an opportunity to do my first, 4 sneakers, and starting the brand at the same time. We launched the sneakers in 2021. So, you know, and started our first did our first cut and sew collection 2021. And then 2022, we came with like 3 more pairs of sneakers. And then coming into 2023, we started working on our last 2 sneakers that kind of made 6 pairs, and our second collection. We also did over a school's uniform in LA, in Crenshaw, an entire school's uniform with Homework. Because that's really what we want the brand to be about, every school year doing over some school's uniform.
Yeah.
And we're still figuring out how to like master that. We've only did it one time, and mind you, that was a lot of work. It wasn't cheap, but it definitely was worth it. It's a school called Creed Academy in the Crenshaw district, like about 4 blocks down from where Nipsey passed away at. Shout out to Hattie Mitchell, that's the principal there. That's my dog. We've been cool ever since the day we built a court dedicated to Nipsey Hussle at that school.
Oh, wow.
So that's
So you
how
were
I
part of
met.
that because it went.
Yeah. I helped them make it.
That's fire.
Yeah, I painted it.
Learn something new.
Congratulations. Ooh, that's fire.
That's fire.
So, you know, that's how I met the principal. That's how I found out that this is a black-owned school in Crenshaw for underprivileged children or homeless children or come from homeless families. And I was like, oh, wow, this school is crazy. So from then on, anytime somebody wanted to do something with me, I kind of like put a bargain in there. It was like, hey, you got to do something for this school if you want to do something with me.
Right.
And then finally, when I got a chance to do my own sneaker, I tapped in with her. I was like, yo, I want to do my rollout here at your school and build a store at the school so I could teach the kids how to run a store, because my background is running stores.
Right.
And that's how I got the option. She was like, well, I could do you one better. We get a certain amount of money allocated to us from the city for our school uniforms. Why don't we give you the money to do our school uniforms over? And, you know, I took the challenge and we did over the school uniforms. And it was one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. You know, it felt better than winning my first plaque for All Go Everything. You know, so
That's incredible.
I
you know,
right?
it's, you know, those type of things and the things that I've done all over the world, you know, in that realm, it just gives you a bigger picture, man, and a bigger thing to focus on other than just streaming.
That's right.
You know, and
Community is what I'm hearing.
Community is way more, because you'll always be able to get the bread once people can understand why you're here.
Right.
Yeah. And you really out here giving back and really showing people that this can be done.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
this
I
wasn't.
love to lead by example. I'm not really we're on a podcast, so I'm talking right now, but if you really, knew me, I don't really be on that much talking when it comes to ideas and plans. Like, I'm an execution type of person. I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you.
Right.
And you've definitely done that. You definitely showed a lot of people just from everything, from just the music, from just proving the naysayers wrong.
For
you know
sure,
what I
for
mean?
sure.
To still being relevant. It's really been a joy to watch, man. Like,
Thank you, man.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome, man. So, outside of the success, how the chakras are aligned. But when we look at where Trinidad James started in 2012 to where he is in 2025, like, how would you describe it? Like, how would Trinidad describe where he is today from where he started?
I don't think that nobody could walk in my shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think nobody could walk in my shoes. I don't think no artist, established or not, could walk in my shoes, because I don't think anybody has ever came in the game the way I did, with a small amount of experience that I had in the beginning. The experience and the voice and the frequency that I speak to both of you with now is me really, 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 really cultivating and sowing into and going through depression and going through the down times to be able to understand what up actually look like and appreciate it and not take it for granted. But in the first 5 years of my career, everybody would have crumbled if you had to walk in my shoes because you had nothing to back it. It's not like real life.
Right.
The industry is not real life.
Right.
It's not a real place. The music business is not a real place.
And most artists do because, like you said, they don't have the foundational structure that you were speaking about.
Ridiculous teams. And once again, they allow the artist to control the man or the woman. However, it's different for me. I've always allowed the man to control the artist. The artist don't control me. I made Trinidad. Trinidad didn't make me.
Right.
Yeah.
That's real.
We met you at Ginza as Nick.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. That's a real. That's a bar.
Yeah.
That's so you talking that.
So
you
it's like and one of the things that people don't know, but is a big truth, is that gentleman at Ginza, I enjoyed being him.
Yeah.
I wasn't like dependent on Trinidad to save Nick's life at Ginza at all. Like I was already lit in the city. Whatever. Like I was dressing all the dope artists. You know, Travis Porter and them. I didn't know them from music. I knew them from dressing them.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? J Money, Young LA, whoever. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to be important to the city. Like everybody was shopping with me after we really picked up a name in the city.
Yeah.
So, once again, you got to understand I'm also an immigrant. So being able to become what we became in Atlanta before music was something for me to salute and kind of pat myself on the back. I ain't never really dependent on another person to pat me on my back because they usually don't. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
so,
you cooking.
Nah, that's real.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like because of just my personal experience, it's like I know what it is to be alone and not allow it to take over my spirit to feel cold towards everybody, thinking that it's their fault while I'm alone. No, I'm alone because I want to be alone.
Right.
And I'm alone, but I ain't lonely. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest fact of it all. I know who love me. You know what I'm saying? And I love them. I know who really got me. I know who don't understand me.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And I give myself enough grace first and patience enough with myself now that I could deal with whatever type of energy comes my way, because you don't really have a problem with Trinidad James. You don't know me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know of me. You've heard of me. You've seen things on the internet.
Right.
The internet is not my stomping ground. You know what I'm saying? I come from real life. I come from outside.
Yeah.
That's why I be outside.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Staying tapped in with culture, because that's who my champion is. I'm a people's person. The people who listen to my music when everybody had turned their back on me, or however that looked like, who did not turn their back on me, was the people who are like the everyday working people who worked at hotels that I checked in at, the people that rode on the trash cans when I'm walking around New York or whatever, and like, hey, bro, we rock with you. You know what I'm saying? Like every day, the post office people, like real people, not people that's living in this flexing fantasy world that is a part of the industry that, I love being in. So I instead of looking for validation from my peers within, I stayed focused on what does the real people out in the streets think of me. And they always just wanted to see me do better. They was like, man, when you gonna drop music?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and they didn't want to use me. They wanted the thing that I gave them at first, you know what I'm saying, which is just a good time. So that's why, with My Biggest Hater, which is our record that's out now.
Going crazy.
I know, I love it.
Going crazy.
Like, I know exactly what to do because I know exactly what people want from me, my people. And that's what I'm focused on.
I love that. My
Absolutely.
Biggest Hater is a fucking hit.
It is.
And I
fucking
just
hit.
want to know, who is your biggest hater?
Yeah, who's this song dedicated
You know
to?
what
Because,
I'm saying?
Trinidad James does have a diss record in his catalog, though.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Right.
But
So-
My Biggest Hater is fire.
No,
It's relatable.
My biggest hater is awesome. And my biggest hater it's a double entendre.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. We all have some version of a hater. But, my biggest hater is myself.
Break that down.
So
Didn't expect that.
You know what I'm saying? The reason my biggest hate is myself is because when I had to go through all those times of allowing other people's opinions to affect me and doubt myself,
Right.
I was hating on myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for a while, I didn't feel like I deserved the success that I had. I didn't feel like I belonged.
Wow.
Even though I was in it, I didn't feel like I belonged because I was listening to voices that didn't align with the frequency or align with my chakras.
Never would have
Had
thought
me
that.
out of sync, you know what I'm saying? But I'm big on survival. Once again, I'm an immigrant, so I know how to survive in whatever jungle you drop me. And America is a jungle. It just don't have as many trees, you know. And it's been able to that. I say that to say was me recognizing. Like, hey, you got to get out. You got to stay out of your own way.
That's right.
Because it's human to doubt. It's human to be sad. It's human to forget who the fuck you are. But it's way more important to have accountability and move forward in a direction that does not allow you to dwell. You should. I encourage everybody. We do a mental health event at my store every Sunday at 7 p.m. called Reflection Sundays. And almost every Sunday, you know, I remind people, you know, that I'm not here to tell you what to do.
Right.
I'm here to remind you who you are, because that's what most people don't have in their life. You don't have people around you that truly help you remember who you are when needed. You know, and it's
real.
unfortunate.
That's so
You know,
real.
for sure. So, you know, my biggest hater is, you know, speaking to self first, because I don't have real haters that I can identify, you know, publicly. Nobody's hating on Trinidad James publicly. Not none of my peers.
People that matter.
And they ain't gonna say it to your face
Right.
either.
Like,
People
they're
that
not gonna
matter,
say it on the
Nobody
internet.
ever did
Yeah,
that.
they ain't not gonna say it in my face. They not saying it on the internet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The best thing that my peers could do is act like I don't exist, so I don't take over their trap. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you say my name, it's gonna come when people be like, oh, I know who that is. You know what I'm saying? And why are you talking about that person negative? However, because
People be ready to ride for you. Like, I mean,
Right,
even when
right.
you know, like, we don't want to dwell on negative, but like when you drop that Rosenberg record, people were ready to ride with you.
For
Like
sure.
that. This is a
For
real
sure, for
thing.
sure.
People was ready to ride.
For sure.
So
and,
you know,
when I dropped that record, and any record like that, you know, and that's probably like about 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, once again, I didn't have the spiritual growth that I had now. You know, so that was just like, this is how I need to react. This is how I think I need to react. I didn't have no mentors. I didn't have nobody, no guidance, counseling. I didn't have nobody holding my hand through this. Everything that y'all see me do is me having to walk into the fire and hopefully don't die. You know what I'm saying? And if I walk out of it, well, it's like, okay, I learned my lesson. And that's just what it is.
I love that because you're
respect
more
it.
about being a part of this.
solution.
If you see there's a need, you become it. Versus saying why we don't have it or nobody was there for me and nobody you reminded people who they are because you didn't have that. That's a
But
dope
you always
concept.
did that on your journey. Like, you know, when you did your interview, I mean, this is years ago, but I remember you did an interview with Narwar. It was your interview, but you shouted out so many people from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Because, I mean, once again, that was also, it's beautiful you bring that up because it's also, that's a part of me not feeling like I deserve. So let me deflect to others who deserve,
Right.
Wow.
but to take it off of me because I don't feel like I fully deserve yet.
That was the time you was
That was
in.
the time I was in mentally,
Wow.
spiritually. I'm like, I don't know if I deserve what I'm receiving. Like, wow, I'm talking to Nawar before all these people that I named. You know, and once again, that's what I would recommend or tell anybody is like, get that damn feeling out of your mind if you don't deserve. If the universe or God put it there, there's no such thing as luck when when your intentions are right. It's supposed to be that way. So you have to learn the best way to receive your blessings or you will delay your next one.
That's a fact.
That's a word. Yeah.
Damn, man. Bishop Trinidad.
Okay, I'm here for it. We
I'm
gotta
here
reinvent ourselves.
Yeah,
I love this.
absolutely.
This is a part of reinvention.
Absolutely.
We gotta grow. I love it.
And you have definitely done that. Well, congratulations to you on all your success.
Yes,
You got you
congratulations.
a new record that's, got the streets on fire right now.
My biggest hater.
Biggest hater. Biggest hater. Well, in closing, before we wrap, we always just like to encourage our guests just to provide just positive words of affirmation. You dropped a lot of gems, man.
I'm about to say, they got all that.
You dropped a lot of gems. That's all I
Niggas
You got
need
anything
more.
else you want to add before we slide?
I mean, you know, at the end of the day, man, you know, don't prove to people things that you know that you are. Allow your actions and intentions to lead for you, and make sure that you communicate your problems the same way you communicate your blessings.
There we go.
Big bar.
Big bar, big bar. Well, thank you for pulling
Love
up,
it.
man. Congratulations to you on everything you have going on. Make sure y'all go shop at the store,
Yes.
buy the clothing, homework. One of these
I
days,
love it.
we're going to
It's
look up.
stylish. You might
Absolutely.
wanna
It's
stand up.
fresh.
Watch
Yeah,
this.
that is a hard ass
Yeah.
jacket, bro.
Yeah.
This jacket hard. Like, hot dog.
That homework drill.
It's like, we going to look up. This is going to be a Lenox Mall. This is going to be everywhere, man.
If you
This-
in Atlanta, you know what I'm
The
saying,
whole
pull up.
outfit, you know what I'm saying? Everything, the pants. You know, this is our biggest hater collab that we did with Own Work. You know what I'm saying? Who's my biggest haters? You, and you too.
Too, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Shout out to my boy Half Bastard who did the customization on our pants, or these I call our confidence pants.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got our sneaker on. You know, shout out to my girl Adrian who does nails at our shop. We do nails at the store too.
Oh, that's
She's also a
fire.
sneaker designer. She goes to SCAD University. So
I
these
like
are our
them.
last basketball shoe. Our last sneaker we did was Saucony.
Saucony if you're from Atlanta.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And yeah, she did the customization on it. She's a badass.
Yeah.
And then we got Dad Socks on, which is my sock company too. And Dad stands for Destroying All Doubt.
Hey.
I love it. Okay, Dad.
That's what's happening, man. Well, hey, Infinite Vibes, Moran, the man, Trinidad James is in the building. Hey, man. Fire.
Boom.